Hey, hey, hey.
Good morning.
Good afternoon. Good evening.
Come on, Didi, we need your good morning call, please.
Wherever you are in this beautiful world.
Well, I mean, last week we said what a week. This one has that.
Yeah,
Crazy
it's
stuff.
been crazy stuff. It's like we are officially, I think, in the bull market because I'm not sleeping. So, yeah.
Yeah. Well done on your trade of the week, Lisa. You gave everyone a phantasmic week with a 40% call
It has
there.
been a
Very
little
nice.
bit phantasmic, hasn't it? Didi's loving it. Didi's
Yep.
in on that one.
Keep the soul alive. Keep the soul alive.
Nailed the link call as well. You called it to $20. I'm very interested to have a look at that chart with you because I think you signaled a pullback around that region as well.
Yeah, I don't think we're getting a pullback until 22. So
Right.
I think it's, 20 is too obvious. I think we'll get a small pullback here and then we'll get a larger pullback at 22.
Right. We know
But
it's a
I'll-
bull
we'll
market
pull
because
that.
we usually start the show by slinging shit at each other for 5 minutes. Now we're just straight into talking.
Yeah. There's been quite a few green dildos. This is my dog in the background. So
A week of dildos, Lisa. A week
a week of green dildos.
green dildos.
Not just any dildo, Sean.
No. Didi, how's your week been?
How my dildos are, or what did you say? I didn't understand what you said.
How has your week been?
My week was from Monday till Sunday, fully full with green dildos, profits, sex, children, not combined, just my children, a lot of conversations about the next goal in life, about the next place we are going to visit in this green dildo forest somewhere. Yeah, it's
a green dildo forest.
Yeah, I don't sleep anymore. I'm addicted, fully addicted to this trading game again. I wake up in the night, checking my iPhone.
For the viewers, I had to yell at him to get off his phone. He's been sitting there making trades for the last 15 minutes. So yes, it's full on. Pay close attention.
Well, I went to my special friend's house, and to his horror, I had my laptop open with Bitcoin charts.
I know for sure, Sean. I know for sure because there was one day in the weekend that Lisa didn't text me that much, and I was like, why is she not texting? And then suddenly, on some moments, I received a text. So that were the moment she went to the toilet to secretly text me, like, do this and this. And then she went back to the boyfriend in bed or wherever he was. And then she was like, not responding to Didi now anymore because she was with her very handsome.
Oh, Lisa, those sneaky bathroom calls to Didi.
Yeah, that's it. It's like, hang on, wait. Gotta get my phone. Gotta text Didi.
Oh Lord.
Gotta get the next trade in. It's like, yeah.
And how was your week, Lisa? Obviously, people know what you're up to on the daily, following you on Twitter and occasionally sneaking out to see somebody.
Occasionally, yeah. Once a week sneaking out. So yeah. I don't have any more time. It's a bull market.
Yeah. Sorry to everyone we know. We'll see you in 6 months.
Yeah. It's like we're busy making money now, and then we can travel the world once COVID's done.
Fair enough. It's been a long wait, but crypto is popping again. That's for sure. So on that note, Lisa, do you want to jump us into some charts for us?
Let's go. Let's get straight to it. Yes, we've got shared screen.
I know, I'm getting better, aren't I?
I know, and I've got them all organized. So
very good.
Yeah, so this is we're in this pattern again, which is really exciting. So about a month ago, I think it was, I said we had this me love you long time green handle that Didi and I were talking about. So I really believe we've got another one coming, which is really going to fuck all the bears. And it's like, this is about to happen.
Those fucking bears. Good morning.
For the bull.
Yeah, so if you're watching, it's like, be careful if you're a bear because you're about to get a green dildo.
Didi and Lisa are going to sneak up behind you with a big green dildo.
Yeah, so potentially, because this is a liquidity zone, and the shorts are building in this area because obviously we're sort of going sideways for quite some time. So we've had this sort of sideways movement for nearly a week. We've had this big drop from the top of the channel. So we're in this very clear channel, and we've been here since the 27th of July. We broke out. We had this little bit of a jump out, but you know, the whales decided that's it. This isn't it yet. So pushed us right down. We hit the support of this channel, which was really impressive. Obviously, they had a lot of orders in this region, and then we were straight back up. So we appear to have finished this correction. It's possible still to sort of drop around to the sort of 11,450-ish mark. That's okay with me. I'll have another couple of orders waiting there if we do. And once we take off, I think we're going to about 13,500, 14,000. And I think that will be a very, very quick movement. I think that's just going to be like this massive explosion going through all the bears. You know, you've got that as rocket fuel, and we've also got a whole heap of futures on the way that are coming. So, you know, the way the sort of the money moves around the market is it goes from your DeFi alts into your top cap alts, and then into sort of Bitcoin. So at the moment, we've gone through the DeFi alts again. We're kind of slowly moving into the top cap alts, the top 100, and then we'll go back into Bitcoin. So yeah, so we've got these moves that have been happening over the last 6 months, and if you trace the sort of the money sort of flow, that's how it sort of moves at the moment. We can see that there's lots of tether being printed and sent to Binance and to Bitfinex and to OKX, which isn't going into BTC at the moment. It's going into the alts. And so those loans get repaid at, it's $70,000. They're 7% loans, so $70,000 per $1 million. And then they sort of get recycled around. So, you know, they're making these massive amounts of money on the alts, pushing it into BTC, pushing BTC up, it holds the levels, and then rinse, repeat. So, yeah.
To what degree would that also apply to Ethereum, or does it really go into BTC?
Well, Ethereum's kind of moving on its own just because of the 2.0 coming. So it'll be interesting to see over the next sort of couple of weeks what's happening with Ethereum, because news has just come out over the last 24 hours that one of the testnet failed when they were doing it. So Blockfolio, where was the news? I don't know where the news is. I thought I had a link up. But yeah, so there was a part of the testnet that failed, which a lot of people are calling out that, you know, it's going to take quite a long time to sort of rectify this issue. I don't think it will. I think that's a lot of sort of FUD coming into the market. It's a testnet, so parts are going to fail, and that's why it's a testnet. You don't want to release that publicly. And have Ethereum absolutely crash down and the network crippled. So there's going to be a lot of issues over the, you know, the coming sort of 12 months to 18 months as this all rolls out. I'm not saying it's going to take that long. I'm not really sure how long it's going to take, but they do need more Ethereum staked at this point for the testnet to be live. Yeah,
on that note, second half of this video, people, I'm going to be having a chat with Lisa and Didi about my thoughts around holding a Bitcoin and 32 Ethereum as a lifelong strategy. But stay with us for that. Back to the chart, Lisa.
Okay, so this is Ethereum, obviously. So, you know, heaps of people were saying that we were going to break down at this point. We did a full A, B, C, D here, E. And so we got A, B, C, D, E. And, you know, we've moved through. So the rule of a triangle is if it enters up, it leaves up 90% of the time. Not often do they break down. So it's the same as BTC. So we've entered into this triangle up. So we can get quite a strong triangle in this region as well, inside of the channel. So we've got a triangle inside of that channel. And, you know, that has entered up into that. So, you know, when they enter up, 90% of the time they leave up. So that's a rule of Elliott Wave and a lot of other sort of, you know, ways of trading. So if you're looking at these things, you know, draw the patterns and everything, just draw supports and resistances, and you're going to get an idea of direction. So you can pretty much guarantee that if it enters up, it's going to leave up. Not often does it fail. So you would put your stop underneath the triangle, and, you know, if it does fail, then you've got to stop there.
So where would you put a stop on Ethereum at the moment?
On Ethereum at the moment is kind of hard. Let me get my chart back.
Oh, sorry. We've, yeah.
Yeah, so it would be quite low at the moment, actually. So just in case there was like quite a week down. So I would have my stop at 346. I've been trading Ethereum the whole way up. So, you know, if it does drop down to 346, it's not a huge deal. I've made, I think, 2,500% on Ethereum since we've been trading the bottom. So it's been massive. I'm in a 10 times margin trade. So it's essential to have a stop.
Yep.
If you're in spot, it's, you know, not so sort of, you know, needed.
Yeah.
Because, you know, often when it does drop, it bounces quite hard. So, but in a margin to trade, it's essential, because if that drops down and you're over margined, I'm never over margined, but if you are over margined, you're going to get liquidated. So, and that's kind of what they like to see. And why they do these massive big drops, because they know that most people, when they're margining, greed sort of kicks in, and you are kind of sort of, you know, over margined. You're probably 90% in that margin, and it's too tight to do anything. You're going to get a margin call, and there's really not enough time to move any funds into that trade whatsoever. So I'm never more than 10% in a margin.
Yep.
So, and that's kind of, it's a really safe, because that means I can drop, you know, quite a fair way and not be out of pocket. But yeah, so I've got quite a loose stop on this one right now. So around 346, I think it is.
Right.
So the link chart that we were talking about, so we've done, we got to this mark down here where we were correcting, and I was telling you guys that we were going to almost 4 times link in, you know, a very short period.
Yep. You did.
And I did, and my target is still $22. So we haven't quite hit that target, and I think $20 is too obvious for a major correction. I think 22, you know, people are going to think it's going to go up forever. So that sort of greed is going to kick in. So if we have a look at these kind of lower areas where we did get these corrections, so, you know, we've got to this point, and we're sort of around $9 mark, and we've dropped down to the $6 mark. So we've had 30% drop on link. So if we go up to the 22 mark up here, potentially we can drop down around, we've got support once we get to 22, probably around the $15 mark. So if I was a betting person, I normally am in the crypto market, I'd have some orders sitting around the $15, $16 mark if you want to get into link. Yeah. Because I think we're going to get a quick wick down at some point.
More of a fundamental question on that one, Lisa. It's not really a charting question, but if we see a decent pullback in link, I mean, it makes up nearly 50% of the DeFi market. How do you think it'll affect these other DeFi projects that are just booming at the moment? If Link were to see a significant pullback, are they correlated in your opinion?
I kind of think we need to see a pullback in a lot of these things. There's too much greed and FOMO in the market right now, and I really think there's going to be some sort of major pullback very soon. So I've said a couple of times on Twitter to start tightening stop losses, because at this point we don't know when this is going to happen. I saw a tweet yesterday that somebody tagged me in saying that there's, I think, 6 or 7 wallets that hold 80% or 70 or 80% of the link in the market.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And if that was to, well, is it? Because, you know, you think about it, it's like with any coin or token, a lot of the whales own a lot of the percentages.
They all have lunch together, it is.
Yeah. So, you know, if somebody wanted to dump Bitcoin, a lot of the exchanges and a lot of these whales know what's going to happen. And that's why we get these $2,000 dumps.
Yeah.
So essentially they know it's going to happen. So you just need to have your stop losses in place and, you know, these randomly weird orders on some of these levels that I think it'll hit. So, yeah, so I think a $15 or $16 link trade down here waiting is a good bet, a good safe bet to get into this.
So you would potentially re-enter Link at that figure?
Yeah, well, I've got some trades waiting. So I'm in Link at the moment, and I'm moving my stop loss. I've got quite a tight stop loss on Link because I do think it's overdue. The corrections have been really minor so far. Yeah. But that's not unusual in a bull market. We saw when Bitcoin sort of climbed from, you know, I think it was $700 or $800 in 2017 right through to 20,000, only took a matter of like 6 to 8 weeks. So it's not unusual that maybe Link is in that same pattern. This is 2016, and, you know, going into the next year for Link, we're going to see these massive targets. So potentially Link, if it continues to grow, can see sort of $100, maybe to $500 within the coming sort of 6 months. It's really? Not out. Yeah, it's not outside of the realm of possibility here.
Okay.
Did you just say like $100 for Link?
Yeah.
Serious?
Yeah, $100 to $500.
What I'm asking myself when I see Link, how can they make money with these high gas prices of Ethereum? You know, they are connecting the off-chain world to the on-chain world, so there needs to be a lot of transactions. So how can a project like Link still make money if these gas prices are this high? But that's another discussion.
Yeah, there's so many high. It's like when Bitcoin was going to 20,000, and it was almost impossible to move any Bitcoin without paying like mega dollars to move it. So, you know, I moved Ethereum last night because I got a tip from Didis, and I wanted to get some of that on.
Oh, thanks, Didis. Don't call me from the toilet.
But you are not in the Green Dildo group.
How do I get in the Green Dildo group? Where do I sign up? Put a link below.
Yeah, it's our new trading group.
You want to join the Green Dildo group?
Yeah,
Sean, you can sign up here.
I think a lot of people do want to join that group. So yeah.
It's quite a fun group, really. It's like green dildos everywhere. It's like
it's a hard fork of HardForking.
I mean, look at the green dildos on this chart. It's insane. I'm getting mocked by some of the HardForking team at the moment because I don't have any Link, and it's sort of I got stubborn and dug my heels in and listened to Tone Bays again, telling everyone.
Oh my God!
Enough a scam.
So have you got your order sitting at $1,000 if you're listening to Tone Bays?
Oh, my mother told me off for listening to Tone Bays that Ethereum was a scam 4 years ago. So he was wrong on that one. It's still here.
It's all a scam. What are we talking about, Sean?
All a scam, isn't it?
All right. So OMG, we had this. This was a trade of the week here.
Which you called this one correctly as well, Lisa.
Yeah, so this was one of our trades of the week, and I haven't put this on Twitter yet because I wanted to save this for you
Thanks
all.
to the people at OMG, I didn't sleep last
So
night.
OMG, 150%. So yeah, so this is exciting. So OMG is still in this third wave. So we're going to get a little bit of consolidation in this region. We'll touch here, we'll drop back down before we head back up. So that's kind of the squiggly way that we're going to move. So once we've got, oops, we don't want to draw that.
It's a layer 2 Ethereum solution, isn't it? So
yeah, so we're going to get about 250% here on OMG from our original trade of the week on HardForkers. We can see we're on a 4-hour chart at the moment. RSI is very, very oversold. So we do need to sort of have this corrective pattern here happen. So anyone that thinks that it's just going to keep going up, at the moment it's not. It's going to correct over the next probably week to 2 weeks, and then it'll start moving up again. It may be quicker than that. So a lot of the time we do get sort of these faster movements and faster corrections during bull markets. And sometimes they're not so, like this I've got here as a traditional bull flag. So it may be that we're seeing, a higher flag sort of in this area, which will, then go up. So we may not correct down to those levels again. Usually in this market, we're seeing the first drop is the deepest, and then it's sort of holding above that because all the FOMO is kind of kicking in.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm certainly going to be having a look at the fundamentals of this. I mean, obviously, OMG and Ethereum are very interrelated. When you see a pump like this, especially off the back of maybe testnet news out of Ethereum, and then go, so well, these two things don't make sense to me because they are so intertwined and interrelated. Obviously, it's a layer 2 pick on Ethereum. So certainly this week, I'm going to be, maybe on Wednesday, I'm putting a show out looking at what's happening at Ethereum from a fundamental point of view and OMG. So tune in for that, people.
So there's a lot of these secondary layers that we're seeing sort of working with Ethereum and, sort of building on those sort of areas really that's kind of why all this DeFi is sort of pumping, because they're all interrelated. So a lot of the interoperability of all these DeFi projects helps the other one. So, that's kind of how it works. Like one will pump and then they go, oh, but this one's interrelated. So then the next one, and it's a chain reaction, and because everyone wants a piece of that. And this is kind of what's happening with Ethereum, with the coins that we're looking at. And everyone, when I put this chart up, they were like, oh, but it's, it's Ethereum based. And I'm like, well, I kind of see big things happening with Ethereum. I'm seeing Ethereum going to $1,000. I don't see any sort of major corrections as they sort of move to 2.0, unless they have some major glitches, which I don't think is going to happen. In a test net, we kind of get those issues. They are fixed, and that's why it is a test net. So, you've got all these other products that are sort of running on top or running side by side, or and this is one, and
it's moving so fast, man. I was making a YouTube video this week, and I made a YouTube video about this DeFi industry, Sean, and that we finally reached $4.5 billion staked into this DeFi industry. The day after, we were at $5 billion. That's like a 10% growth in a day, like $1 billion almost in a day. This is definitely feeling like 2017.
Yeah, it's crazy. And Lisa, I mean, obviously we're not giving financial advice here, but I totally agree with your $1,000 call. I'm sort of on the daily talking to guys that actually use Ethereum in their business. So I'm getting a pretty good technical insight into what's happening. And as you say, I think as long as there's no catastrophe, I certainly see 1,000.
Yeah, so this is...
Don't you both think that with these huge prices, gas prices, Ethereum now, and that there will be this Ethereum killer blockchain that will be around the corner waiting to dethrone Ethereum now, because they are facing some problems, let's be honest. So
they are, and I think that's why we've had this massive rise with ERD. So ERD was that coin that I traded, and we have 3,400% rise on that, and we've sort of slowed down at the moment because there, a few sort of things are sort of pending to come out. And I think this week there's going to be some huge news on ERD. I see another 50 to 100% bounce on that.
Really?
And so that one's just going to keep going. So ERD is really is buying it. So it is an Ethereum killer. It does everything that Ethereum 2.0 does already. So
he's just run off to the toilet on his phone again to do that.
So I've got the BLZ, which is this chart is BTC from the beginning of time. So we can see, it goes right back to where we were, 60, under $100 on BTC, which is just an incredible sort of thing to see. So I want to show you this chart because, the reason I've stayed in this trade, and a lot of people are like, it's going up and down, and it's like, oh, when are you going to make some money on co-vesting? And I did get taken out, which I've said sorry to a lot of the people in the trading group, because I actually got taken out by $2 on a stop hunt, and I was so pissed off. But so I had a fairly low stop, and all my stops on every other exchange except for Prime held. And that stock got taken out by $2 just because of they've got a little bit of slippage, and I didn't factor in the overnight fees that they have on their trading. So I've worked that out now. So that's a small glitch in it, but
good, because I'm signing up today, so I'm pleased you've got everything under.
Yeah, I've ironed out all the bugs, so I've got it all functioning well. Now, the reason I've held this trade for so long is because the weekly needed to close above 10,700 for Bitcoin. This was our pivot. It's our next bullish pivot in this area, and it was really vital that BTC held this region. As I was saying last week, it was, this was sort of the area that we were holding in, and we hadn't really held above this area. So this is the 5th of August 19 here. We've got this, we dropped straight back below. Prior to that, the 1st of July 19, we dropped straight back below. We came up on the 26th of Feb in 2018, we've dropped straight back below. So it was a strong resistance at this point, and we really needed to hold this as support. We need to continue to hold this as support. And that's why I think if we do get a dip, it's only going to be a really temporary thing. Like we could dip down to 10,450 over the next day or so before we continue up. But the last time we sort of held this region was way back in November, December 2017, just before the bull run. So that's why this region here is such a pivotal area, and such was a major point that we needed to hold on BTC. So, the whole of crypto Twitter, when they're becoming bears and everything, you can see that these regions are going to hold, because obviously we're building the shorts, and that's why I see that massive candle. So on the BLZ chart here, this next wave potentially goes up to 15,000. So we're currently at about 12. So that's a $3,000 move. So I don't think it's going to be a $3,000 candle, while it is, potentially could happen. I kind of think it's going to be sort of like a $1,500 to $2,000 candle. We've had those quite often within BTC. We can see these candles here. Over these periods, and during this the bull run. So if we have a look at the weekly candles where they break, so we've got about 10,600-ish here to 14,000, 15,000. So we've got a 4,500 weekly candle. So potentially this could happen. in, you know, so in this region. We are moving into our third wave. So this wave that we're moving into is our third wave of our third wave. So the third wave always moves the fastest and the swiftest, and it's usually the longest wave. So that's why this is potentially possible, that this is just going to explode. So with advertising that they've got going for BTC, we've got newspaper advertising, we've got television advertising in the States, and we've got sort of a low level inverted head and shoulders, we could say here. So we've got a deeper shoulder, we've got our head here, and then a very shallow shoulder. So if we look at this pattern and we put a measure it down, there we go. So we're up at that resistance again. So this is 17,000. So potentially this next wave formation is going to be right up to 17,000 with added FOMO. So, you know. And
you know what I think, Lisa, I think you're completely right, because, you know, this is what we have been expecting for years now. And
yeah,
if you look to the left on the chart where you were around 2017, around that resistance point, that was the moment that all banks, that all governments were completely fighting against Bitcoin.
Yeah.
They were shouting, it's a multi-level market scam. It's like, it's only money laundering. Now in this time, we have almost the support of all these banks. You know, JP Morgan already offering services now. Well, at that point, he was saying, when one of my employees is touching Bitcoin, he will lose his job. So I don't think it's difficult to have an explosion now, because we have all these huge banks also throwing in their money now. Not that I'm a banking favorite, but, you know, they are throwing in money. If your grandma is able to push a button to buy Bitcoin in their banking app, you know, these 5K candles, easy.
I think you're 100% correct.
I want to show you as well. So this resistance that we've got, so it comes through this region that I was showing you, and it goes right up to this 17,000 region. So potentially we've got this candle sort of, you know, breaking up from this region, hitting up here, and then going into a you know, quite a consolidation before we go through and, you know, head to our 21,000. So I did a chart the other day where I kind of broke down the market cap. I broke down Bitcoin and how many altcoins we had in 2017 to how many altcoins we have now. So potentially by sort of Christmas to February next year, we could be seeing sort of 26 to 30,000 Bitcoin. Just with the FOMO in the market. So, and it's again, it's not outside the realm of possibility with what's going on in the market right now. So once everything sort of starts really moving and people start sort of flooding into the market, you know, I've got people asking, so if I put in, I want to save some money for Christmas, if I put it into Bitcoin, how much money do you think I'm going to have by Christmas? And this is a common question I'm getting at the moment, which is kind of cool. So,
are you talking about Christmas this year?
Yeah, this year. Yeah, this year.
Jingle bells, jingle bells, jingle bells.
Yeah, so it's kind of like, woo! It's like it's going to be a good Christmas for some people.
Lisa, what were you just saying there about the amount of altcoins last time compared to?
So this is the chart that I did, and I've got it on Twitter, and I did a couple of graphs. So when we hit the all-time high, depending on exchange, it was between, you know, sort of 19,891 to 20,089. And at this point, I think we had about 1,500 altcoins. It wasn't a huge amount. So at the moment, we've got 6,000 to 8,000 of them. And yeah, so that obviously cuts into the market cap. The market cap is sort of in this sort of below halfway, but above the strong resistance that we've had. So, and it's holding above that resistance. But we need to get halfway to sort of, you know, progress into this market. Again, market cap is following a similar pattern to BTC. We're going into the third wave of the third wave. So this is where the major money flow comes into the market. Like I said, in Elliott wave, the third wave is always the swiftest and the longest. So, and being as this is a third subwave of the third wave, it's going to just be this massive explosion. So I really think that in this sort of zone, in this period, so we've got, you know, this is going to happen until October. So on this, I kind of don't go so much by the timing. But if we have a look at this, this sort of region, so it's August now, so we've got September, early October, we could have this massive explosion within the market where we're seeing BTC sort of get to those highs again, and potentially a new all-time high within the market. Which is
Sean
exciting.
Smiling.
Yeah, it's like, what am I doing? So if we go, this is a chart that a lot of people have wanted me to have a look at. And Sean's asked and requested this one. So this is BAT. So they've got Brave browser where you can tip people. And I've just signed up and I've got Brave browser. So thank you to everyone who's been tipping me and joining. So this is a really cool thing. So it's a lot of the BSV products have got this, but this is done with BAT. And within the BAT sort of browser, you can have your wallet, and within that wallet, it's kind of like the Edge wallet where you can, you know, verify and you can trade the BAT to anything you want it to be. So within seconds. So you can have BAT, then you can have Bitcoin, or you can have Ethereum, or whatever you want to have in that wallet. So it's a multifunction wallet. And yeah, so BAT on sort of the launch, like Brave Browser's been around for a couple of months, I think, maybe even longer.
Oh,
but,
yes.
Yeah, but there's been some really new sort of stuff that they've been doing and some new releases on it. And it's helping the movement of BAT, obviously. So we're on a daily chart. We're going to see a little bit of correction here. Our RSI is fairly high down here. We've had strong volume still coming in. So it may just take a day or two to settle, and then we'll continue up. So this is also a chart that I've had on Twitter. And this was my green star where we were buying in. So, you know, we've had a 60% move on this chart so far. So it's really exciting. So almost every chart that I post is getting sort of, you know, a minimum 50% movement. So yeah, they're doing really well. So it's kind of exciting times. You know, when we're seeing sort of every chart, like every day, it's like 50%, 100%, 150%. It's like,
yeah, you know, I really like this project. I mean, it's something pretty much everyone I know in crypto uses it, but it's, you know, you don't need to be in crypto to use the Brave browser.
No, you don't, and it's really easy to set up. And you know, a lot of people are setting it up at the moment. They've had such a huge explosion in use numbers and everything.
Yeah,
so
exactly. Yeah,
yeah.
I'm a fan.
Yeah,
in it for a long time already.
Yep.
Okay, so what else do we want to talk about? So Litecoin. So a lot of the time, so I want to just talk about, there's a particular pattern that we've seen in many alts and BTC at the moment, where we potentially get an ABC or an ABCD, so E. And I tell people to always buy the C, because the D and the E is not guaranteed. So when we got this, so we've got potentially at this point, it can turn and it can come down. So with their E wave, it never goes as low as the C wave. So even though it's coming back down, you're not guaranteed of ever getting it. So this potentially could always be, because it's a bullish chart, where it breaks out at this point, which we did, which means that this wave here is now our wave one, and it's an impulse wave. So when I post a chart, I always say buy the C, because you're never guaranteed the D and the E. So and people are just trying to and starting to work this out, which is kind of exciting. So what happens with a resistance as well? We always get a retest. So for those that see a coin sort of break out, and then they FOMO in, and they probably FOMO in at this point, and then the whales and traders like me know, okay, I can sell here because I know we're going to get a retest. It's a bit evil, but we do. So we can see on this chart that this next candle has come down first, has retested this previous resistance as support, and then taken off. So again, we've got this strong resistance here on Litecoin, which we have been we broke above it at one point, but most of the time we've along here, we've hit this resistance and sort of stopped. We've done that again, but I really feel we're going to break through this region. We're pushing up again in this zone. So our MACD and our RSI is still quite high. This is a 12-hour chart. So we've got a little bit of consolidation through this region here before we take off again.
80K Litecoin.
Yeah. So all of our DeFi projects that we've been trading, so Theta is going bananas. So Lend, I've been trading this since the bottom, so it's just actually hit my target here, which is 136%. So we had a correction down. We've retested this, like I was saying, this previous resistance here as support. Lend has if we go to the 12-hour chart.
We pay some special attention to this. I've been following this project really closely. I've sort of been in and out of it a wee bit. It's done some massive numbers. Really
yeah. So this
to understand it a bit better.
Well, this is a really exciting chart because what's happening is potentially the same as what is happening in BTC right now. So I will bring up my parabola chart on BTC.
I think they're going to start offering mortgages as well.
They've got some huge things happening. So I'm going to get some of this stuff off. So we can see in BTC that this was a parabola that we've got. When you do a parabola, it's the same angle from this side as it is to this side, and it follows a curve. So we've got BTC's broken down. It's retested the parabola here and come down, and we can see that it's going to continue up. Our third wave target is around the sort of the $21,000 mark at the retest up here. So if we go to our AAVE chart and if I can find it, I've got so many charts open. Here we go. And we can see that we've started down here. Obviously we have, this is what we've got from our data on this chart. And we've followed the parabola around. We've come down and we've broken this parabola, same as we did on BTC. We've retested it, dropped back down, same as we've done on BTC, and we've continued up. So we're just about to retest the parabola on AAVE. So this is the same pattern that BTC has. So this is what is going to happen. So this is obviously BTC's moving a little bit slower right now, just due to the fact that all of these DeFi projects are sort of taking over the market and everyone's sort of FOMOing into them. But once this marketing for BTC starts and people start thinking, oh, I'm going to put in $100, and if every person in America puts in $100 or even $50 or $20, BTC has the potential to go to $50,000 within the next couple of months. So that's how crazy this run could be. So, this is an exciting pattern to see this. And, this is only going to continue up because we're going to break through this parabola. So we're on the other side here. We're hitting the parabola here. We will see some corrective waves here, and then we're going to continue through. So, and then we're on the right side of the parabola, and we've got all that support again. So that just means it can continue going. So, if you're looking for something sort of long term, like AAVE is a really good investment. We're at 56 cents at the moment. I really see this going sort of 5 to 10 times within the next sort of few months. So Didis got his phone again. He's like,
yeah, see, so have I on this one.
Buying.
So yeah, we've just got so many exciting projects with and the thing about AAVE and projects like Nexo and those DeFi loan projects that we've got. So there's so much money getting borrowed in crypto at the moment. So what I was talking about earlier, the money flow. So you've got $1 million in lending, and they're paying 7% fees, which is 70,000 a day, which is going into these projects. So this is only growing them. They've got money coming out their ears. So $70,000 for every $1 million that is in lending is massive. And when you see, if you follow Whale Alerts, I'll get Sean to put a link down here on Twitter, then we see when Tether is going to Binance. So there's $10 million in Tether at a time goes to Binance. So, that's a $700,000 fee on that, percentage fee on that. And then, they're pumping the alts at sort of 100 to 200%. So, so if you've got $10 million, you pump alts, you sell the alt, and, there's so much money coming into the market that when they're selling the alts, they're not sort of dropping that much, and they're repaying these finance loans that they've got, and then rinse, repeat. So that's why we're going to continue to see AAVE just climb, products like Carver just climb and just go through the roof. So Carver, I think, has done 500% in the last 2 months. Wow. And it's just been insanely crazy. So if we have a look, this is our Elrond chart that we were talking about before. So we started trading right down here when it was like, I think I bought it at like 5 zeros, 36 cents or something. I don't know what the breakdown of that is, but it's like, it was massively cheap. So we have nearly completed our correction here. I really feel that we're going to get some news soon with ERD and Elrond. They've got some big things happening, and potentially we're going to get another move. So these diagonals are similar to what we're seeing on BTC. So we've got a strong resistance here, obviously, because that's the only resistance we've got on this chart. So if we go to a daily chart, we can see that that's the only resistance left we've got on ERD. From where it dropped in the market, we formed this cup. We've come down. This is basically our handle here. We've got a tiny little handle, and we're about to explode up again. So potentially we're going to about 0.04. So once ERD sort of continues to sort of go, we're going to move up another 0. So that's, a massive amount of profits as well. So this is one that I'm kind of trading these tiny bounces, but not so much. It's one that I've really been sort of holding and just moving my stop up. So yeah, it's incredibly bullish. It still is, even though we've had this correction. This is kind of a correction we needed to have in order for this to start moving again. They need, all coins and tokens need to have these regions that they build this support so that if they do have a market crash, there's going to be orders sitting there from people that have forgotten about them, and they log on to Binance one day and they're like, "Whoa, I'm rich."
Have they launched their mainnet? Do you know, Lisa?
Mainnet was coming, so I don't know if it's actually been launched. I do need to look into that. I've just been so crazy busy with charts and everything in these last couple of weeks. I haven't had a chance to see where everything's at. The only reason I know about Ethereum is because it's been popping up all day on all the alerts that I have on all the news sites. So, yeah, it's just such a crazy market right now, and I don't,
You can't do TA and
yeah, you can't do TA and FA and everything. It's like,
And a boyfriend.
And a boyfriend.
So buying at 0.016. Okay.
So
what's happening with
Zero, where are you buying it in? Phantasma.
Yes.
Oh, I need to show you RXT. I got asked to do a chart.
Oh God! One of my friends called me.
This is my favorite chart of the day. It's like this is my moon boy chart. I've drawn my little moon boy. So this movement today in Australia is the 17th of August. So this movement started on the 15th, late at night on the 15th. And so within 36 hours, we moved 500% on this. And I looked at this.
Is it going to drop 500% tomorrow, though?
No. So we've got support building in this region here. So 63, we've had 2 touches and we've bounced straight back up. So 63 is about where we're going to settle. We're going to get a flag for forming. We've had this consolidation here, which we had since May. So being as this is a 4th wave, it could take a month. So it's a bull market. It may not take that long. So I've said that in this region a couple of weeks ago that Bitcoin was going, we took 2 months in the previous region. We're going to take about 2 or 3 weeks in this region that we're in now. So we're kind of nearing the end of the wave count for BTC and we're going to start moving. So, and I think it's been like 15 days in this sort of region for BTC. So it's moving in these, like they speed up the higher you get into the market.
Yeah, and to my friends that contacted me to tell me how well they had done on this, but didn't tell me about it in the first place. Thanks for nothing.
Yeah, I only got alerted to this one after the fact as well. So
that wasn't directed at you, Lisa. It was
I know.
There's people watching this that know exactly what I'm on about.
But there's so many like projects that people are coming to me and it's like, can you do a chart? And it's like, there's just not enough money to go around for me to sort of put it into every single project that I want to put it into. So, some of these charts, I'm sitting on the sidelines and I'm just like, oh wow, that one really pumped.
I think we'll have a chat after we've looked at all the charts on the actual hype that's happening at the moment and how it compares to 217. I'm quite interested to hear both your thoughts on that.
Hit the button, wait.
Oh, look at this one. Woo!
Yeah, well, you both called this one, and unfortunately I didn't listen.
Yeah, so this was one that I was talking about, and I've got up on Twitter. So we've done 162%, Sean.
I know you have. I followed the 2 of you on the daily on that one. Surfing waves, Didi with his cup of coffee.
Yeah, so this is like an absolute, what do they call those big, the giant surfing waves that you get in the USA where they go and they drop you in on a helicopter and you surf it. So this is one of those.
Toe in.
Yeah, so we've had a toe into waves and we've got 162%. So,
link below to Didi and Lisa's Dildo Club, people. I'm not sure how you can get into it, but I'll let you know when I find out.
It's all about fun.
It's all about fun, yeah. Sorry, Sean, you can't join. You don't trade any of them, so you can't join it.
I am now. I'm in.
You need to prove that your dildo is green.
we need photographic proof of your Tinder.
Okay, no
dildo.
problem. I'll post it to you.
So this is EOS. So EOS, I did a chart way back in March, and I had this on Twitter, and got hated on by everyone on Twitter because I said, sorry guys, this is dropping further. It did. I said it was going to be contained in this area, which it did. And finally, EOS has got some stuff happening. They've got a lot of the devs have come back and they're doing some work on EOS, which is amazing, which has helped, and we've broken through a cross resistance, which is the hardest point to break through. So EOS has got some strength at the moment. We've retested this, as I've said, what happens. So we've retested this cross resistance. We've come back up. We should form a bull flag within this region and continue moving. So up we go. So I've got an upper target on this one at $6.60. So that's a 50% rise here, or 100% rise here in this region. So if you're trading that, yeah, we've got about 95 to 100% rise coming on EOS.
I guess we always have to throw in one of these protocols that's been around for years now and done bugger all. So EOS is that one this week, is it?
Yeah, EOS is it was like literally a dead chart. So it was doing nothing. People would say to me, oh, what's EOS doing? And it's like, I don't care. So yeah, I pulled it up the other day and it was at this pivotal point, and I'm like, if it doesn't break through, we're going back down to sort of like $1.30. And yeah, so it was across resistance, and it's been retested and it's continued. So EOS has got some strength at the moment, and we're going to continue. So we've got a potential 100% move on EOS coming up as well.
They might do something one day.
You never know. You never know.
Well, I mean, you got the likes of the Elrons of the world, I suppose, coming in to challenge these long, EOS has been there for an eternity now, and this one, at least. But yeah, I never really heard too much being built on it or anything happening with it.
Yeah, there's a kind of a little bit of movement at the moment with the devs. So I think that's kind of what's happening at the moment. I'm not really sure that there's huge things happening, but maybe I'm wrong.
I mean, the one that surprises me, Lisa, is obviously I know there's quite a bit happening on BSV, but there are some long-suffering holders of.
Oh yeah, so BSV has so much like being built on it at the moment, and it's just like it's literally the most hated the most hated coin in crypto. So as far as like traders go, let me see if I can find my chart. We are moving in pattern, which is a really exciting thing. We're breaking resistance as we're holding key levels. Yeah. So we're about to go into a third wave with BSV as well. So when BSV moves, it really moves. So we've got this major resistance here, but potentially with the FOMO that's going to kick in, because a lot of people have jumped out of BSV at the moment, and they're trading these DeFi projects, and a lot of these traders, sort of their heart lies with BSV. So as soon as it starts to move, everyone from BSV is going to FOMO in. So, so if we go back to the chart here and we have a look at the movements that BSV can do, it's just exceptional. So, and this is the kind of movements that we can get here. So we've got this wave here can potentially go to this region. I'm not going to say it's going to do that straight away, but if we get some big news that I heard the other day that there's some stuff happening in the US government. A couple of people have said, do I know if that's BSV? I don't. But potentially there could be some sort of development with BSV with that. There's a lot of rumors flying around. So, if that kind of does happen, BSV is really going to sort of take off.
Yeah, it's a funny one. I mean, obviously, a lot of people there. I talk to a lot of that people involved in that project regularly, and there is a lot happening on it. when you compare it to some of these other things that are just pumping, and it's extremely questionable how much is actually going on there. It doesn't. Yeah, I'm just amazed. I mean,
well, there's a lot of.
To be honest, there's people in their sort of media side of things, or at least self-appointed media, that are just so hostile and caustic, which is, I sort of stepped away from.
Yeah, it doesn't help the cause. It really doesn't.
No, it really doesn't. They don't think that's the case. They think they're actually doing something great, and they need to tell everyone this. They're like Tone Vays. Everything else is a scam. You're a four-letter word starting with C if you're talking about anything else. I got sick of it and walked away, but recently dipped my toe back.
There is, like, I love most of the BSV people. There's a couple that I have blocked just due to, obviously I do trade a lot of shit coins. I am a holder of BSV. I trade BSV. It's 25% of my portfolio.
Right.
And,
that's a huge amount.
It's a huge amount, and it's probably the most lagging part of my portfolio right now.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's forever.
No.
Potentially, if we get a wave like we saw back there, so this third wave could just break straight back up to here. So we've held every single key support possible. This potentially is a 50% move, which is not outside of the realm of possibility in this region. And then, continuing up. So depending on what the rumors are with this news will depend what happens with BSV in the interim. So, yeah, so potentially a 50% move in this region coming up very soon. So if we have a look,
purely from a chart point of view, it's a hold.
Yeah, it's not horrible. It's not breaking any patterns. It's actually holding all key supports. So if we have a look at this long-term support that we've got along here, it's held the whole way. We're holding a high support now, so which is formed back since July. And, that it's bouncing every time off that support. So we also have the MAs that have come into the rescue on several occasions, which have, back down here, much to everyone, that was shorting it and was like waiting for lower buy orders on BSV. I'm like, this is bullish. The MAs have just crossed over on the lower time frames. We're going up. And then it crossed over on the daily, and I'm like, well, there's no way we're going down now. Everyone, there's one particular BSV guy that for some reason since the BSV conference in February, it feels like last year, but it was only February. He's been calling $5 on BSV. It's not going to $5. That's just complete insanity. So, we had a low down here of 133. I think that's pretty much what they're going to get for now. That was around June. We had this massive big failure on a lot of the exchanges. This is when the trading engines failed on a lot of the exchanges. So there was huge outcry with BSV because a lot of people lost a lot of money in margin trades because none of the stops activated. There was not enough insurance in the fund to cover anything. So, BSV dropped right down to sort of $81 at this point. It held the low though. So, which was another good sign, even though this was an insane sort of movement and drop.
Yeah.
We're continuing, and we're in this trombone pattern, and it looks really, really good. So I think, for BSV people, the future is really bright. There's, we do have a lot of the Ethereum projects have moved over already to BSV. It's not widely advertised. And I think they're slowly sort of taking more and more away from the Ethereum projects. Obviously, we've got all the DeFi stuff moving on to Ethereum. So there's talk that BSV can be tokenized. So, that can then have that same sort of DeFi stuff happening as well. So, yeah. And I think once all this stuff is released, this will start moving. So at the moment, there's not a lot of news coming out on BSV, and we're not seeing it sort of move. It's sort of going this very sideways pattern, and yeah.
If you're interested in BSV, I did a video. Anyone watching a few days ago, check that out. It's a couple of pretty impressive people on the project and some good stuff in there. Moving on.
So yeah, so this is Sol. We've had that 40% bounce on our trade of the week. So we're coming up to the top of this channel. Now, potentially at this point, if we can break this channel, we're going to have this huge big movement. We've our
Double
RSI
Phantasma.
Yeah, double Phantasma. So so it's potentially got this really nice movement. So when we look into the ecosystem of Phantasma, it's a really cool DeFi project that has soul, so to speak. And yeah, so that's another one that, look into what some of these projects do, because they're really exciting. The interoperability, oh my God, that's a hard word to say, but the interoperability of these chains that you can go switch in between sort of one to the other is a really cool thing. So, it's not just one blockchain for all, like it can be sort of joined in it. It's like a road. So you're driving through America and you drive into you're in California and you go into Nevada and so on. So that's kind of what they're all joining.
I have a show starting on Wednesday, which is a fundamental show where we've actually been interviewing a lot of the founders of these DeFi projects. We've got 3 that we interviewed during the week. We launched that show on Wednesday, people. So check it out. We have to get you two on as a guest shortly for that. So it's been really interesting, actually. It's nothing to do with charting. We actually sit down with these people, and there's certainly some interesting characters in there. I can assure you of that.
So I've actually got a little bit of news. There's a project that I've been working on, and probably for about 2 or 3 years. So it's an exchange, and it's with some Indian guys, and it is almost at the launch. Now it has some regulation stuff that is really exciting. So I can't kind of divulge that just yet.
Oh.
But it is...
Surprises you are.
Yeah, so it is Bitfex, it is BFT. It's available on 2 exchanges, one in Vietnam and the other one's Probit. So this one's really exciting. So I would go in there, and grab some BFT.
Well, hang on, sorry, back, just run that by me again. What?
So it's called BFT, Bitfex. So it's a new exchange that's being launched. It's got some exciting sort of stuff. We're going to hear some news about this in the next. You're
involved in the exchange, do you say?
Yeah. So no, I've been. I helped with the ICO, and when I was with Coin Runners, and also sort of further down the track to raise more money with that. And it's taken such a long time to get, and the people that bought this ICO have been so patient with it all. Yep. But it's finally almost at the point where this exchange is going to go live, and there's actually stuff happening. So yeah.
Well, get them to contact me. I'll to get them off a show. I actually reviewed a couple of exchanges during the week, which I'll be posting in the next few days as well.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, with this flood of new people coming in, I'm really trying to get some content out there to help people on what offerings are out there in the marketplace. So yeah, very keen to have a chat with them.
Yeah, but you can jump on Probit. You can buy BFT super cheap at the moment. So
is it BFT or BFX, Lisa?
BFX, sorry, BFX.
BFX, I think.
Don't buy BFT. Yeah, BFX. So buy BFX. So
not
many different codes. Yeah, not financial advice.
You can have a look at BFX.
Yeah, look at BFX, and if it takes your fancy, then you might want to buy it. But BFX is essentially the BNB of this exchange.
Right.
So
okay, cool. Yep.
So it'll go into reduced fees and that sort of thing while you're on the exchange.
So it will go times 180.
Right.
So, and then we'll be in the green dildo club. Hey, and we'll be like,
oh, is that how you get entrance? Right.
Yeah, that's how you get entrance.
Yeah. Now, hang on, we're missing something here.
What are we missing?
Well, Phantasma, what are you telling us? Phantasma is like a rollover trade of the week?
No.
You're not going to leave us hanging here.
Where's my God.
Trade of the week?
What was my trade of the week? Hang on, got to show you. I did have a trade of the week somewhere.
I hope so.
Hang on.
Get ready to buy.
Wait. Do you remember what it was?
No.
I was telling you guys before.
I already forgot.
Didn't tell me.
Because of your trading strategy, I don't have any funds left to trade.
Yeah, so this is another trade that we were doing with BPro, which is the casino coins. So this one's done 150% today, which is exciting.
Today?
Yeah, so we went back down, we corrected, and we've hit 150%. We're correcting at the moment. We're going to continue up on this one. So this one is another one that's staked on casinos. So there's a couple of them. Now, this one's really exciting because it's backed by Vegas casinos. So, you know, obviously nothing's open at the moment. Everything's online. You need BPro to gamble on casinos, and you stake it to get cheaper sort of, you know, fees and stuff like that. So this one's like a hodl for me at the moment. I think it's going to continue. We're just going to continue up on this.
Is this the trade of the week, or is this just one that you forgot to tell me about yesterday? This is
what I forgot to tell. I told you about this. One's been on Twitter.
Oh, has it?
Stop it. Didi will tell you. He's in the green dildo club.
Oh, man. I'm not happy with you two. Still left out.
So Win was one of my trade of the week. So we've done 100% on this one. We've consolidated and we're just about to move again. So I think we're going to do another 100% on this one. Really? This is the time to buy in. We've got strong consolidation here. So this is TronBet rebranded as Wink. And, you know, I posted some statistics the other day on this that Mustache Tommy from Twitter has been giving me. So this one is also, this is 10 casinos in Vegas, which is really, really exciting. So he's got some statistics that in the 1960s, the casinos were it was all desert, and these casinos were popping up in Vegas. And this is what the explosion is of these online casino coins.
I was going to ask you, is Vegas open?
No,
or maybe some of this stuff's just popping.
Yeah, it's not. It's all online. So a friend of mine, Marcy, hi Marcy, I know you watch. So she was in Panama and she flew through Vegas and it was all closed. She was putting photos and there was nobody there. So she's got a photo and she's standing on the main street and there's literally nobody there.
Wow.
So yeah, so these casino coins, there's a few of them at the moment. They are all popping and they're, you know, so we've got the DeFi, we've got casino coins, and then we've got our, you know, our regular coins, which are also starting to pop now. So
many of which are casino coins.
Yeah. Oh my God, I've got to find the trade of the week.
You do indeed. You're going nowhere until we've got the trade of the week.
What is my...
Oh, and we were going to look at gold and silver.
Okay.
Well, had a lot of...
Gold! Okay.
Oh, Sean, how long is it still going to take?
So many charts, so little time. I found my trade of the week. So I'll do gold and silver first.
Just very quickly.
Yeah, very quickly. So gold, I've been saying that at this point, 2080 can potentially go through to 2200 for our B wave in a particular pattern that we're in. Now it has hit my B wave and it has had quite a strong rejection as gold has had. So if you're trading my charts and you had, like, it's literally hit to the dollar. and it's rejected. So it'll be interesting to see if in this region how much this sort of corrects, if it continues to correct down into this C wave, or if it's a minor correction and we continue up for this third wave. So, if we continue up for the third wave, obviously this puts us in a minor correction within this region. And then we're heading up to $3,000 for gold.
That'd be my pick.
Yeah, we're kind of in this limbo for gold. So, and being as we've had this strong rejection at the B wave, right at the B wave, there's potential that we could be correcting down. So it may not correct as deep as this. We could have a truncated C wave, which often happens. And then we go into, a bigger explosive wave. So yeah, that's kind of what's happening for gold at the moment. We're on a pivot, a technical pivot at this point. But because we have rejected this region, it's hard to trade in this area because it is, could go either way right now.
Yeah.
So looking at silver, the same things happened with silver. So we have hit dead on my third wave. So if you have been trading my charts with gold and silver, you are definitely making money. So once BTC gets out of this liquidity area, for me, I'm going to be trading these charts on Prime XBT. They have both gold and silver paired to BTC. And that will be part of my co-vesting strategy.
Oh, really interesting. Good.
Yeah. So
yeah. I've wanted some exposure to metals, so there you go. I'm going to have it now.
Yeah, you're going to have it. So, once, BTC is in this strong liquidity zone, and it's really hard to sort of over capitalize into anything else right now. And a lot of people are asking me what I'm going to be trading. So moving forward, I'm going to be trading gold, silver, Litecoin, BTC, and probably Ethereum within that, as BTC sort of moves out of the liquidity zone. And we're in safer regions. But right now, just due to BTC as a margin trade, I want to have all the liquidity I can so that I'm not getting stopped out.
Yep.
And trade of the week. You're going to do that. Do your best radio voice, Sean.
Lisa's trade of the week.
So here we go. We've got Coty. So this is on Binance. This is a 4-hour chart. We've had some strong movements. We've hit resistance. We're going to come down into this buy zone. And then we've got a 75% movement on this chart. So this has had strong consolidation. We're going to get a short consolidation in this region, and then we're going to take off. So I'm going to have some orders waiting within this region for when it drops down. And then we've got a 75% trade. It's going to take a couple of weeks. It's not going to be a trade that's going to take off today. With that said, who knows? But
it will take. Call it trade of the weeks.
Trade of the weeks. So, yeah.
Trade of the week.
All right, hang on.
Skip. Next one. Too long.
Wait. Trade of the week.
Diddy wants to get to the beach. Trade of the weeks. Okay.
So, yeah, like I said,
this is our weekly trade of the weeks.
Our weekly trade of the weeks, because some of them are taking a little bit longer.
None of which have been weak, by the way.
No, every trade that we've done in the trade of the week has hit target. So they've been really exciting. So you pretty much, it's not financial advice, but it's a safe bet. It's a safe coin toss to do trade of the week.
Just believe it. Every time we hit targets, sell your house, sell your cars, sell your airplanes, sell your bikes, sell your 100 pairs of shoes, sell your dog, sell your children, your wife, and go all in.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it.
Well, I actually said that. So I said, you know, if the market cap broke a certain sort of region, that everyone had to go out and sell everything they owned and go all into crypto.
Yeah.
Once again, it's not financial advice, Peter.
This is not a financial advice.
Our Monday happy place where we're having a chat amongst ourselves, and you're more than welcome to watch.
It's not financial advice. It's life advice. Sell. Sell everything you own. Sell. You don't need it. Buy crypto.
It's like buy everything. You get the most out of life from experience.
Exactly.
I'm not saying it's going to be a good experience.
Yeah. On that note, let's just round the show off quickly, because this market is going bonkers. How very quickly, Didi, I'll start with you first. How do you compare where we're currently at with the sort of the hype that we saw in 2017?
I think we are just in the beginning, Sean. Like I just said, it's like at that time, all the centralized entities in the world, banks, governments, were fighting against us. They are not now fighting against us anymore. Most of them are supporting us. You know, it's like all countries are starting to mine with power plants. You know, it's banks are offering custodial services in crypto. This is going to take off in a way I think have never seen before. It's going to be the biggest social economic revolution we have ever experienced. I think all these strange calls that people made about Bitcoin could go to 1 million. If not, I will eat my dick. I'm not doing this one. Somebody else did this one. But, you know, I think at the end, you know, at the market, the bigger in this big way, you look at these funds like Grayscale. They just did the first national television campaign. By doing this national television campaign, they just added 14,000 Bitcoin to their 430,000 Bitcoins. Yeah. They are going to hodl. If all these funds are going to add Bitcoins to their funds and hodl these Bitcoins, yeah, you just can calculate. The supply is going down, the demand is going up. So what will this do with the price? This is going to explode. We are in the beginning. I can see, because I'm earning money now with trading. You know, it's just the beginning.
Yeah, because apparently you're at a club with someone else that.
I needed to sign up. You know, I need to do some stuff. It was not easy. You know, it was like it was a pretty hard. It was pretty hard to get into this dildo school.
You deserve to be at the dildo club, Didi. I know how hard you work on it.
Sure. But do you know why I think it's just the beginning? I was contacted by Business Insider again. That is one of the news companies, or that you know, did the first article about us as a family. Yep. They started to call me now. They just published a Spanish version of a new article. I think they will be picked up by the International Business Insider as well. We are being contacted more and more. So more and more companies are now contacting the Bitcoin family as well, of like, what is going to happen in the next bull run? So we are in the beginning. I think we just saw like a few green dildos of 1,500%. We are going to see these daily. I'm already seeing them daily, but you know.
Sean might start to see them soon too.
Good fundamental reasons why, I don't think we're bubble bursting from a technical analysis point of view. Lisa, how would you compare where we're at right now to 2017 overall?
Overall, I think if we look at the Wall Street cheat sheet, we're in that sort of disbelief going into hope stage. And that sort of, you know, the sentiment in the market is slowly sort of changing, and people are like, oh my God, this is actually really happening. I'm making money daily here. I buy a coin, it goes up. I can hold it a couple of weeks and I'm making 100%. So you've got that hope that this is really sort of happening. And that's only just going to continue. You know, we're seeing at times where the market sort of corrects and people are getting, you know, a little bit too greedy. So again, from a trading point of view, don't over margin, never invest more than you're willing to lose. And if you're in a sort of a leverage trade or a margin trade, you really need to be using money management and a stop loss.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And so last question before we wrap up today. And it's gone a lot longer than we usually do. There's been a hell of a lot to talk about. Obviously, from a trading point of view, I'm coming in to copy trade you on Prime, Lisa. I know quite a few of my friends and people that follow the channel have done so also. We're also launching a show on Wednesday. It's called 1 Bitcoin and 32 Ethereum. Really, the show is purely fundamental look at some of these projects out there. But the amount of people I'm getting questions from, they're seeing these 2,000% gains. I think unless you're a good trader and you know what you're doing in the market, this is a very dangerous game to play. Copy trade would be a good option there. Or what I'm talking to, sort of friends and family about is, having a Bitcoin and having 32 Ethereum, that's a safe play. It's giving you exposure to everything else happening in this market. So all these booming numbers you're seeing that you want to FOMO in on, they really are sort of the gold and silver, if you will.
Well, they are.
Space, and that's why we're calling this Wednesday show. That I think that's got to be a goal for a lot of people, and start with what you can afford. Follow the show on Mondays and that one on Wednesdays.
Yeah, well, there's another theory. Sorry, go, Didi.
So on Wednesday, we can talk about some exchanges now going for KYC regulations and why people should fundamentally choose for an exchange that doesn't have KYC. But let's keep that for Wednesday.
Well, not necessarily. I disagree with that. So I think
that's what I know.
Yeah. So, to a certain extent, it's a good thing. So, yeah. But that's another day discussion. So another thing, so hi to Adam.
Like, what are they talking about?
Who's Adam?
Who's Adam? He's a friend.
Satoshi.
So
don't say anything silly here, people, because we've managed to do an entire show without any editing, which means I can post it away.
Yeah. So okay, so he
did it especially for you.
At the end.
Sure, you too. So he's a hodler. So he's a very experienced hodler, and so he tells me that the best way to do anything, and I've actually got him trading at the moment. So, but the best way to do anything is to DCA. So, and he's very, very green on all of his Bitcoin and his Ethereum. A few of his shit coins, he's not so much, but yeah. So the best way, if you're not a trader, you're coming into the market and you've got a little bit of money to put into BTC and Ethereum every week. So, maybe you are on a set wage and you put aside $50 every week and you buy that and you DCA. It doesn't matter where it is in the market. If BTC and Ethereum continue to go up and you're just DCA and you're buying the dips, there's not an issue that you're going to be making money. So that's what he does and what he's done for quite a long time. And I know quite a few people that do that. So that's another way without trading of getting into the market. And Didi's got that chart that we see, unless you bought the very, very tops of this market and you were dollar cost averaging, you would be very green right now. Yeah.
I'll have a chat. I'll have a chat offline with you too, because I also during the week I want to start posting some alternatives where people can actually come into the market and get some Bitcoin and Ethereum. I've just reviewed some of the places I have on my website, and I'm not happy with a couple of them, to be honest. So I'm going to be replacing those with better options. But we'll have.
There's one thing I think we need to discuss about next week as well, Sean and Lisa, because we are talking about this DeFi industry every time. No, it's not going to be a joke. It's going to be serious, Lisa. I can already see what you think coming about.
Please, I don't want to. Don't have 3 hours editing.
I'm just like,
No. So because of this old DeFi industry and all the staking industry, we can also see all these projects now popping up that do this non-custodial offline staking, where you hodl your Bitcoins in your own wallet, where you have access to your private keys and you're still able to stake. I think this industry is going to explode in the next couple of months as well.
Yeah, there was another one that I was looking at that somebody's just sent me a link to. So Atari, which is the game console of the 80s. So they've got an exchange, and and you can buy the Atari token, and you can stake that and play online games with Atari. So, and they've got sort of, you can get 6%, 12% returns on this, depending on how long you stake for. So, you know, if you're looking for that, and it's a good investment, it really is, like, because you know, the normal banks, you're getting sort of 1 to 3% if you're lucky. And this is even like, you were getting sort of 6%, I think, for 3 months staking. Don't quote me on this. I was only quickly looked at it last night, and 12% staking for longer periods. So, you know, it's a really good return for not doing anything.
I think the same at Waves, at Qtum, they're all launching. Talking about Atari, somebody, if you, from the Atari time I am, you do know this move. You know, athletics, you need to win.
Yeah, it's like, you're like, yeah.
What a great way to end the show. Can everyone do that, please, at the same time, and we'll say goodbye?
Yeah, you've got your console, and then you've got, like, you're on asteroids and you're trying to kill it. It's like,
okay, come on, Didi, we're saying goodbye. See you next week, everyone.
Bye, guys.
See you next week. Bye.